Hello, welcome to me working on Glow, which is the first of 3 books in a young adult series. And I wrote that during NaNoWriMo, god awful long time ago. So there are some interesting writing challenges coming about right now. And I'm going to quickly lead you through today, like where I am and what I'm doing and how that's working. So when I write in NaNoWriMo, that was National Novel Writing Month, and the idea is you write an entire novel of 50,000 words in a month, which divided into days is 1,667 words per day. Now, sorry, just adjusting the camera here. So that means that basically what I did was I created empty files, and of course there would be 30, but I think I overshot on some days. And each day I would just churn out one chapter. So, that ends up as 50,000 words, but generally a young adult novel is between 50 and 100, and 50 is not quite enough. I think 70,000 is the sweet spot. So that kind of means I need to put 20,000 more words into this story somehow, which is doable because generally there really is not enough character development in this. So you'll see, just to look at something else, there's the first 6 chapters of Act 1, and there really was not enough character development in there. I kind of threw in the characters, and let me adjust this. Threw in the characters, but then, in Act 2, we meet another character or two, which really should have happened in Act 1. And the characters at the moment don't really play off each other or interact in a very, very deep way. So that's what I'm going into now. But also, if I zoom out a little bit here, that is zoom in. If I take you out to and we're in Scrivener now, I gotta go into select Act 1 up here. Okay, you see the total word count of each chapter. And this one has 2,000, but for the most part, they're like, if I'm lucky, 1,700, sometimes a little shorter. And I think I really need to beef those up to about 2,500 words each. So that is currently what I'm trying to do. What I'm also doing is going into this book, which is the Storyteller's Workbook. And I'm trying to make sure I've broken it down into the plot beats that I want. And what I'm using is Derek Murphy's 24 beat structure. So, at the moment, a lot of these chapters some of them at least need to be combined, and some of them need to be moved. So going back to our chapter list here, for example, the first chapter in Act 2, I think, needs to be combined with Act 6. So because there's a character that should be introduced before Act 2, and because these really divide one chunk of narrative up, whereas I really need to end Act 1 with an actual plot point, because that would be good. So what I'm doing right now is beefing up the characters and the description and some of the world building in this first act, and combining what I can to make things fit the plot beat structure that I think this really needs to work. And I'm hoping that maybe today and tomorrow I can at least get through act 1 and have that all set with 2,500 words. So that is where I am now. We'll go back to the writing view. The other thing I need to do is, the wonderful thing about Scrivener is you can see your synopses of each chapter on the card, but that is only if you have entered that synopsis here when you are writing the chapter, which I have not done for all of the chapters. So I need to just suck it up and do that so that I can make sure when I'm really going in to revise it, have I identified the plot points, have what is actually happening in each chapter, so that I can make sure that things that need to have happened have indeed happened. And so I'm doing that. I'm going through and writing those down in the rest of this book for the cards here in pure analog form with pen and paper. So that is the current effort, and I will let you know how that goes.